What's going on, guys? This is our weekly solo player's guide to the Nightfall. This is our Titan variant. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday with all three classes: Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. So if you need any one of these guides, just go ahead and look in the description box down below. A link will be available for those guides. We normally also do a Challenge of Elders guide. We're not doing it this week just because it is rough. It is extremely rough. I would suggest you just go ahead and skip that this week, just like we did. But normally, we do that every single Tuesday. Also, we're about to hit 1,000 subs, maybe another month or so. And I'm doing a pretty decently sized giveaway. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description box down below as well. It's just an announcement video. It's not the real giveaway yet, just because I haven't hit 1,000 yet, obviously. But what we're giving away is some Control Freaks for both PlayStation users and Xbox users, as well as some of those Todd McFarlane Guardian figures. So if that interests you, that video is going to be in the description box down below, and you'll be able to see what the figures actually look like. If you want to just skip to that, it's kind of a ranty video, so skip to about the 3-minute mark, I believe is what that starts at when you want to see those. So if that interests you, link in the description box down below. Other than that, let's go ahead and look at what the modifiers are for the week, as well as our setup, and then we'll rock the guide. Modifiers this week are Void Burn. Void damage from any source is greatly increased. Berserk, minions of the darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. Small arms, primary weapon damage is favored, but it will take away from your special and heavy weapon damage output, so just keep that in mind. Fresh troops, some enemy squads have been fortified with additional reinforcements. And Daybreak, which pretty much just gives you mayhem, clash, recharge, ability recharge rate. So your grenade, your melee, and your super are all gonna recharge very quickly. You'll have like a super every 20-30 seconds. It's pretty great. As far as setup goes, I'm rocking Hand of Judgment, but if you have an adept Doom of Chelchis, the scout rifle from King's Fall, that thing will murder in this strike because it is the Taken version, and it also is Void. So if you got that, rock it. It will be pretty great. Sniper rifle, the highest rate of impact, lowest rate of fire is what I would suggest, just because it's going to do the most damage. In Void, obviously, so something like Event Horizon, Ex Machina, or Devil's Dawn is the other one that does this great amount of damage. As you can see, Ex Machina is the best, but since we're rocking no raid weapons guides, Event Horizon and Devil's Dawn are both ones that you can get. And then I'm rocking Nova Mortis, but to be perfectly honest with you, it didn't do nearly as well as my other two guides where I used a rocket launcher. I would highly suggest using a rocket launcher for this strike, especially for the boss fight. And then, of course, we're rocking Armamentarium for double grenades. About constantly have grenades. I like Untouchable, reduces the cooldown time for Word of Dawn, so you can get your super even quicker than normal. Bastion increases the duration so it lasts longer. As far as melee goes, a lot of people use War Machine. While Force Barrier is active, all your weapons reload and ready blindingly fast, which is great. And this is what I used to rock every time. But here lately I've been using Unbreakable. Force Barrier continually recharges, so just like your health, it will, you'll take damage and then it'll refill itself, which is pretty awesome. I'm rocking Weapons of Light to do more damage as far as primary weapon goes, but Blessings of Light could be really useful. And then really I'm just rocking Spike Grenade because it's the only one that was really working for me. I tried Suppressor Grenade, wasn't working for me whatsoever. I never tried Magnetic Grenade. But spike grenade, especially on the boss, does a lot of damage. So let's go ahead and rock this guide. Alright, so first area is going to be some scions and dregs fighting it out down here. Just go ahead and throw your grenades wherever you see fit. Especially if you're using armamentarium, you'll just have pretty much anywhere you want. And then, as you can see, just move right on ahead. That's probably going to be the quickest spot. However, this is a bit of a rough week for Titans, just because with the bubble, there's not a whole lot of things you can do to speed it up, unfortunately. Maybe if you try a different subclass, it might work a little bit better, but you'll also lose those massive damage numbers from the void grenades. So if it does work better for you, let me know. But as far as this little wave goes, you're gonna have two snipers back there. As you can see, I just took the second one out. There's going to be a major minotaur, some scions, as well as goblins. Just go ahead and take all of them out. Just be very careful. That minotaur is doing solar damage, but he still does hurt quite a bit just because he's a major. And then just after you kill all those guys, just go ahead and move on. Once you come over here, if you can land your jump, there's going to be two more snipers. It's either going to be two hobgoblins or normally two vandals. Every once in a while you get one of each, just like here. And then there's also going to be some scions up here, so just be very careful of them. They're doing arc damage, but because they shoot so quickly, they'll still be doing quite a bit of damage. Just take them out and run on up. Now once you get about halfway up this little ramp area thing, there's going to be four more scions. Just go ahead and throw a grenade on the wall if you're using spike grenades, and that'll take any of them out, and it'll take out their little clones that they shoot out as well. Alright, and then once you get to this next bit, there's going to be two minotaurs, two fallen captains, some dregs, and some goblins fighting it out. Just go ahead and take all of them out, and then go ahead and unlock the door.
Check it out.
Alright, so once you scan the door, go ahead and just rush it all the way back. If you want to, you can go all the way back to where we killed those scions earlier. But if you see these guys spawn in, this is where our rocket launcher starts coming in handy. It will take them out pretty quickly. Otherwise, just go ahead and keep throwing grenades right there, and it should eventually take them out. I am taking extremely too long killing these three guys. You want to get past this part very quickly. So, rocket launcher, just pummel them with it. As you can see, they'll just keep throwing up that shield. This is why I hate taking enemies, is all these different shields they have. So eventually you can just start taking them out. Otherwise, They might not always spawn there. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they wait till the second round. Either way, the first round is usually a bunch of hobgoblins, major hobgoblins, I should say, some goblins, normal health goblins, and then 3 major minotaurs. And then after that, the second wave is going to be a bunch of acolytes and 3 major Centurions. So just go ahead and take them all out as quickly as possible. I can't stress that enough. You want to be very quick about it. Otherwise, you can be wasting a whole lot of time here. Be careful with the hobgoblins, because obviously, as you can see, they are doing a lot of void damage. But once you get past that, just go ahead and move on to the next section. Alright, so you can either do this, switch it over to blessings, and then give yourself a little bit more health, or you can take your time and kill all the ads in here. If you took as long as I did, you definitely just want to go ahead and rush through everything. I would suggest popping your bubble just a little bit further down the way. As you can see, it ran out before I even reached the enemies, so that kind of sucked. But other than that, in this section there's going to be one major captain, one major minotaur, and then some goblins and hobgoblins. Go ahead and take them all out. Some well placed grenades should do the trick. And then just take these guys out as quickly as possible. Like I said, this strike you want to move quickly because the boss fight does take quite a bit of time. So go ahead and just take all of them out. If you have to, you can go up there to start dealing damage to the Minotaur. Sometimes he hides just a little too far back, but sometimes you can get him down from down where I'm standing now. Just kind of depends where he's at, obviously. And take them all out and then move on. Alright, so once you get here, go ahead and pop your super, and this is where a rocket launcher comes in handy again. One rocket will kill the majority of those ads that I'm throwing grenades at. You won't have to worry about cleaning them up with your machine gun. Then go ahead and there's going to be a major captain, as you just saw. There's going to be some thralls that spawn in, as well as some goblins and dregs. Go ahead and take them all out. It shouldn't be too difficult at all. Nothing in this area, once you kill those enemies right there, are doing void, except for the goblins, and they're obviously pretty easy to take out. So once you do that, you'll be prompted to activate the boss encounter. So just go ahead and do that, and then run all the way back to our safer zone before we start dealing damage to the boss. Also in this section, what you're going to want to do is just stay back here. As you can see what I'm doing, just constantly throw grenades as you have them. And just keep doing damage to the boss. This first wave is very easy. It's just going to be a bunch of scions. And I believe that's it, actually. So the bosses, as long as you're around here, that boss won't come around the corner. And you can literally just pop grenades. That's why I suggest spike grenades. You can actually just throw them on these rocks and they'll actually hit them pretty hard. And then anytime you have a super, just go ahead and pop it. Try popping it a little bit in the back so you have some room for to still hide and cover. Like you see me doing about here. That's about perfect. That way, even in the further down the line, you'll want to pop them about there. Once you see those enemies spawn in, you just go ahead and start throwing grenades down in that direction. Try and get as many of those guys out as possible. Once these guys start spawning in, the boss is going to run towards the back of the map, this area, whatever you want to call it. He'll start doing it slowly until he gets about halfway, and then he'll just take off towards the back. Only really thing you have to worry about in this round are two major Minotaurs. You can see them shooting at me now. Like I said before, they're doing solar damage, but they will still hurt quite a bit, so you're going to want to stay back. Throw your grenades as much as possible, pop your supers. Every super you pop, you'll generate a couple orbs, so that will give you 200 points. So think of bubbles as an extra 200 points every single time. So go ahead and pop them as often as possible. Kill these little guys here, and then you can start working on the boss. This time I think you're going to want to get the boss down to about half, or maybe slightly more than half. Maybe like a third of health. No, he's going to go down to about half. So go ahead and just start doing that. What I like to do is run up to about halfway down. Try and kill all the scions in there. You can just keep throwing grenades. Sometimes the boss will go in there, but for the most part, he will just kind of stay back. As you can see, I'm hitting the boss right now. So you can throw him on that rock. You can throw him depending on where he's at. You'll also see me throw way back there. It just really depends on where he decides to hang out at in this round. I should pop my super here, but I think it takes me a little while. I'm not used to Daybreak. But just go ahead and keep on doing damage to him until you hear the next wave spawns in. Once that wave spawns in, you're going to want to rush as fast as you can all the way back to the safer zone where we were popping our bubbles before. And then in that wave, there's going to be a bunch of major hobgoblins. They're either going to appear where I'm throwing these grenades now, or I'll show you in a second. Remember to throw your grenades every time those guys spawn in. Now these guys are going to be goblins, and there's usually, I think, 1 or 2 major goblins every time those guys spawn in. So be very careful of them. And as you can see, the other 2 are on that bridge to the left. You can kind of see them in the far distance there. But and I would suggest that you take out all of the hobgoblins before you start trying to do damage to the boss. Otherwise, they can 2-tap you very quickly at 400 light. So be very, very careful. If you're taking like they'll knock you down to like under a third of health. So if you've taken much of any kind of damage, you're going down. You're going down really quick. So just be careful of that. And then once you take out the hobgoblins, you can start doing the same thing that we were doing in the first wave, which is just throw those grenades at that little rock crevice thing until the next wave spawns in. Now the next wave takes a ridiculous amount of time. I might just speed through that one just because it takes so long. But what happens in that round is there's going to be some hobgoblins again in the same spots as before, as this wave we're talking about. But there's also going to be 2 Centurions, 1 major, 1 normal health, and they are going to spawn in towards the middle, so they're going to get to you pretty quickly. And they do just nothing but void damage between the balls they throw, which are very dangerous, as well as their weapons also doing void damage. So be very careful of that. And then there's going to be 2 more that spawn in towards the back. If you have a rocket launcher, you can start launching those things about when they get down to about half. You'll see them start kind of slowly making their way up. If you don't take them out back there, it is going to take you a very long time, as you'll see, to take them out, because those orbs might as well be hobgoblins. Well, they'll get you down to just under a third of health, and you don't want to be in that red area whatsoever. But anyways, so that's pretty much going to do it for this guide. That's about all I can tell you. Once you take out all those Centurions and hobgoblins, you'll be perfectly safe. There's no more waves after that. As you can see, this is that wave I was talking about with the Centurions. But after that, it's pretty much smooth sailing. Just go ahead and finish off the boss as quickly as possible, and that'll do it. So I'm gonna let this video go ahead and play out. Like I said at the beginning of the video, links in the description down below for the other Nightfall guides, as well as that video for the 1,000 sub giveaway. And then I have rewards at the end, and other than that, subscribe and I'll talk to you guys later.